honoring the rights of parents who are fighting to retain custody of their children while ensuring those children remain safe and protected is a very difficult balancing act for Oklahoma's foster care and adoptive agencies. This week, I spoke with reporter Kayla Branch of The Frontier about the complex issues involved in achieving what is best for everybody involved. So Kayla, Oklahoma is one of the few states that give a constitutional guarantee to parents. What is it?
Right. So in 1987, the Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled that parents have a constitutional right to a jury trial before their parental rights are involuntarily terminated and their children in foster care can be adopted. Texas is the only other state that has a constitutional right in this way, and once kids have been in foster care for the last 15 of the last 22 months, the state can move to terminate parental rights and that process gets started.
So right there, that's a long time, and the wheels of justice turn slowly, and that can be a dangerous thing for vulnerable children, can't it?
It can, and advocates have pointed out that there are, a lot of traumatic experiences that kids in foster care can have, even just including the fact that they have been taken away from their primary caregiver and put in a different home, kind of regardless of the reason. Okay,
so on average, how much time are Oklahoma children spending, in state custody while they play this out?
Right, so in fiscal year 2021, the average time that kids spent in foster care was 20 months, which is right in line with the national average. But for the about 1,300 kids that exited foster care during that time through adoption, they spent an average of 30 months in state custody. So that would include their parents having their rights terminated, whether they were doing that through a jury trial or not, kind of depends, but it definitely does add time that kids are in state custody.
Can you tell us, is the problem worse in urban or rural areas?
I would say the problem is different in rural and urban areas. So in rural areas, scheduling jury trials just takes a lot longer. In some of these counties, they're only having a jury docket twice or three times in an entire year, and they have less staff to be working these cases. In urban areas, they have jury dockets more frequently, they have more staff, but they also have a much higher volume of cases.
You mentioned these adverse experiences. Where does Oklahoma rank in terms of the number? There's many of them, what they call adverse childhood experiences. Where does Oklahoma rank in there?
Right, so Oklahoma has consistently, historically had a high percentage of children with multiple adverse childhood experiences, which can include a parent with a mental health or substance use issue, abuse or neglect related to poverty, a parent that's incarcerated. And there are several studies that over the last few years have put Oklahoma as the state's, number one, having kids with the most number of these experiences.
You mentioned the parents there and their problems. So they may be struggling financially or with a drug or a mental issue. Are there programs in place that give them a chance to get things right, to right themselves, and maybe apply to get their children back? Or once they're in the system or they're adopted, is it over for those parents?
Yes, this is kind of a complicated question. Oklahoma definitely does have a growing number of mental health and substance abuse treatment providers and services available to folks, but it really is a question of access. If you live in a rural area, a treatment provider might be dozens of miles away from you. So as a parent, can you get off work? Do you have reliable transportation? The overwhelming reason that families get involved in the child welfare system is because of neglect related to poverty. So a lot of these issues can take time, to deal with, to get a steady, good paying job, to, get your mental health issues sorted out, to get clean or sober. And so it can definitely be, difficult for parents to sort through all these issues. And all the time that kids are in foster care, there are caseworkers working with parents to try to navigate all this, but it definitely can be difficult. But once a parent's rights have been terminated and their child has been adopted, that is a legal consequence that is going to be difficult to ever undo.
Great reporting. Kayla Branch with The Frontier. Thank you so much.
Thank you.